Today's topic is your multivitamin is killing you.
Welcome to the Restorative Longevity Podcast, where we share how to increase your quality of life while also increasing your longevity. Now let's welcome our host, Jimmy Yen, also known as the AccuSensei. Jimmy is a licensed acupuncturist, herbalist, nutritionist, and restorative longevity expert dedicated to guiding you on your journey to vibrant health and lasting wellness.
It's a continuation to my series of vitamins that make you smarter. This is kind of like the last piece, but we're going to end it with your multivitamin is killing you. So what is the point of this podcast today? The point of this podcast today is stop taking multivitamins. You don't need multivitamins, and I will explain why. But your multivitamins could be increasing oxidation, which is rusting in your brain. So your brain cells are rusting because you're taking these multivitamins, right? And so stop taking them. You don't need them if you're eating food, right? Now, if you're not eating food, then maybe you need to take them. But most of us are eating food, so you don't need to take them, okay? But let me give you some updates about this podcast. We are moving this podcast up half an hour to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Still going to be on Sundays, but it's going to be 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. And the reason being, if you can allow me to elaborate a little bit about what's been going on in my life. My mother-in-law, who lives in the same city as my wife and I, she was actually hit by a car on December the 18th of 2024. So last year, so just a couple of months ago. So she was just walking, doing exercise, walking on the sidewalk, and a car hit her. And it shattered her right tibia, which is her right leg. And she had to go through a couple of surgeries, and she was not weight bearing. She couldn't walk. She couldn't put any weight. She's got two metal, whatever you call this, seven or 10 screws, pins, and plates in her right leg. Recently, she was just able to start walking. But why does this podcast have to change? Because the care that we received in the hospital, and also dealing with insurance companies, medical insurance companies, and auto insurance companies, but the medical system has been terrible, and we're here in Austin, Texas. And so I have had to step in. So I have been providing her, obviously, since I'm an acupuncturist, I've been using all of the services that we provide in our clinic, Achieve Integrative Health, and I have been using them to treat her. Acupuncture, our nerve reboot, manual therapy. And I also had to take over home health, which is home health care, home physical therapy. We were trying to get a physical therapist, some therapy to come to our home, but we couldn't find anybody because nobody wanted the combination. So my mother-in-law, she's in her 70s. She has Medicare. So the combination of Medicare plus a motor vehicle accident, so having to deal with car insurance plus Medicare, that combination, no facility wanted to take her. No home health wanted to come and help us because they were afraid they don't get paid. And I completely understand, right? Facilities like skilled nursing facilities, all of them, we contacted 6, and all 6 rejected her because they don't know if they're going to get paid, so they're just not going to help. So I don't blame them again, but the medical system. So for those of y'all who are watching and you're not in the US and you think, oh, the US has the best medical system, it doesn't. That has not been our experience. Being in the healthcare, I already knew that, but now personally experiencing that, the medical system is broken. And so I had to take things into my own hands. And so I am now monitoring her whole care for her. Even when we go to orthopedics to do the follow-ups, it's like a 2-minute talk. Hey, how's your pain? Oh, good. Okay. I'll see you in 2 months. And that's it. There is no explanation of what to do, what to expect. I mean, they did say, oh, it takes 4 to 6 weeks. but there's no explanation of the x-rays. So it's just a whole mess, right? A whole mess. And I don't want to get too, I could do I plan on doing another series explaining this whole system, medical system here in the US is just completely off. But let's come back to the topic of today, multivitamins. So, sorry, that's the reason why I have to change the podcast time, is because I have to do the home health care for my mother-in-law. Okay, so let's come back to multivitamins are killing you. I'll talk about one thing about vitamins that make you smarter are, the wondrous world of flavonoids. So maybe, many of y'all have heard the word flavonoids, right? The flavonoids are called like phytonutrients. And some scientists, they call these phytonutrients vitamin P. P as in phyto, because it's phyto spelled P-H-I. So they call phytonutrients vitamin P. So where can you find these phytonutrients? In fruits and vegetables, right? Fruits and vegetables. So what does phytonutrients do? They are antioxidants. They fight oxidation. They decrease oxidative stress and inflammation. So they decrease acidity. They decrease your rusting. So your body's constantly rusting, right? So phytonutrients slow that baby down, right? And what are phytonutrients? So they're found in plants. What do the phytonutrients do for the plants? The phytonutrients do this for the plants. They help the plants live longer. They help the plants live longer, right? And prosper and grow. So if we eat those plants, we can get those phytonutrients. They help us live longer. That's why you probably heard studies, phytonutrients are like the nutrients for longevity. It is absolutely true, because that's what it does. Phytonutrients does for the plants. It helps protect them from stress, oxidative stress. It helps them prolong their life of the plant, live longer and prosper. So we can do the same thing for us. So that's why you need to eat more phytonutrients, vegetables and fruits. And for those of y'all who, I'm going to go off tangent just a little. I'm studying, for those of y'all who are believers, Christians, or you just read the Bible, I'm going through a Bible study, chronological Bible study, and we're starting from Genesis. And as I was reading it, I found something. God told Adam to Eve, and so before the fall of man, God instructed for Adam and Eve that they can eat everything in the Garden of Eden. And he specifically said all the plants and berries. It wasn't until after the fall of man. So a fall of man is basically Adam and Eve sinned. They ate from the apple from Satan. And so after the fall of man, then God said, you can eat all the living creatures. So we didn't start. So originally in the perfect world, we were just a vegetarian. And then after we sinned, then we started eating animal protein. Does that mean anything? I have no idea. I just thought it was pretty interesting. But coming back, so phytonutrients, key. So a phytonutrient called quercetin is found in apples. Quercetin also helps with allergies, right? So apples. So what is that saying? An apple a day? Highly true. That's why you need to eat more apples. You can find flavonoids in cacao beans, right? So cocoa, right? Chocolate. You can find that. And of course, the phytonutrient resveratrol in wine, right? This does not mean go and start drinking wine, okay? Don't be saying, hey, the Aku Sensei told me to go drink more wine. No. You should just eat the grapes in resveratrol, okay? So that is the last thing about flavonoids. Now, minerals. Let's come back to multivitamins. Why are multivitamins killing your brain? It's because of the minerals. Now, we need minerals, right? Minerals are super important. Minerals are super important. Minerals are in the earth, and the plants absorb the minerals, and we eat the plants and we get the minerals, right? Same thing with animals. Animals eat the plants, they get the minerals from the soil, and we eat the animals. So we're still getting the minerals, right? So that's the natural life. So minerals are contained in the soil, right? They're absorbed by the plants as they grow, and then recycles, right? And so if you look at the animal kingdom, the herbivores, animals that eat plants. So the ground, the soil has the minerals, the plants absorb the minerals, and the animals eat the plants, which get the minerals, and then the animals poop it out, and the poop is absorbed back into the ground. So the minerals are getting recycled. That's the cycle of life, right? So what do minerals do? Why are they so important? They also lead to the structure, the building of the structure of your cells, specifically your blood cells, your nerve and muscle cells, your bones and your teeth, right? Soft tissues. They also function as electrolytes. Like, our bodies are electric, right? We conduct electricity. That is through minerals, that the balance of the minerals which allows us to conduct electricity, or if it doesn't. It also helps us regulate metabolism, right? Examples are magnesium. What are examples of minerals? Magnesium, zinc, copper, iodine, selenium, manganese, potassium. These are all essential to keeping our brain healthy as we age, right? They help us manage our water metabolism, because there's a saying in, I forgot where I heard this, where sodium goes is where water goes, right? So if salt is leaking out of your cells into what we call the interstitial space, basically outside of your cells, if sodium is exiting more outside of your cells, water is going to follow it, and that's where you have swelling, like in your ankles, your legs. We call that edema, right? So where that is affected by sodium. So it's called a sodium potassium gradient. I won't get into too much detail with that, but those are the functions of minerals. That's why we need minerals. Now, here's why you're thinking, hey, Jimmy, why did you say multivitamins are killing us? Here, I'm about to get to it right now, okay? So here's how multivitamins are killing you. Mineral toxicities. We need the minerals, but we can't have too much of them. We have too much mineral toxicities, it will kill us. It causes oxidative stress, okay? So we can't. Now, most of the minerals that we're more aware of that cause toxicities are lead, cadmium, and mercury. These are all also, AKA, are called heavy metals. Heavy metals, lead, cadmium, mercury, these are the commonly known, right? Poisoning you can be easily poisoned by these heavy metals. Like, you don't even realize how easy it is for us to get heavy metal poisoning. It's in our air, it's in our water, it's in our foods, it's in the medications you're taking. And it's also in improperly coated food containers, right? That are, or the ingestion of lead-based paints. Arsenic, another toxic metal. Everybody has heard arsenic is a heavy metal that is toxic, right? It is used in the manufacture of pesticides. So now the agriculture company are using pesticides with arsenic. They're spraying it on your plants. Remember, your plants absorb all the minerals and the heavy metals that are in the ground. Now you're spraying heavy metal on them. Of course they're going to absorb. Then guess what? We eat the plants. Guess what? The chickens, the cows, right? They eat the plants. So they get those arsenic in their body, and then we eat the beef. And then now we're getting arsenic, right? And antibiotics that are in farm-raised chicken. So farm-raised chicken that are fed antibiotics have arsenic in it. So if you eat chicken that is farm-raised and have given antibiotics, you're getting some arsenic. These are all the ways that we're getting poisoned, okay? Here's another thing that most people don't know. And, this is not new. Let me preface this with, this is not new information. There has been many scientists over, I would say, the last 30 to 40 years that have been saying these things. However, news agencies and the public, we have to be responsible for this as well. the public and the news agencies, the medical organizations, they have been saying the people that have been complaining about heavy metal contamination, they are conspiracy theorists, that it is not true. Well, fast forward to 30, 40 years now, it's coming true. So we have to confront ourselves, hold ourselves accountable to say, hey, if we were one of those people that were saying, hey, that those people that were saying things that were against mainstream media, what mainstream media was saying, or what the medical institutions were saying, that we were saying those people are just liars, they're just conspiracy theorists, we were wrong. Because the facts are they were right. And mainstream was wrong, right? There is heavy metal in your medication. In vaccines, there's heavy metals. For example, the flu vaccine. The flu vaccine is given, they put a dead virus. They can't put a live virus in a vaccine. They put a dead flu virus into the vaccine. Our bodies only respond to something that is live, right? So how does a flu vaccine help the body's immune system? How does it trigger the immune system? A dead virus does not trigger your immune system. So what do pharmaceutical companies have to do? They have to put into the vaccine something that will trigger your immune system. So they put something that will trigger your immune system, and it activates your immune system. And then your immune system will identify, oh, I see this new dead virus. Let me start making antibodies to this new dead virus. That's how vaccines work. Now, disclaimer, I'm not a physician. I'm not telling you whether to get the flu vaccine or not. I'm just telling you the facts. So how do pharmaceutical companies, what do they do to put into the vaccine to trigger your body to activate the immune system so that it can create antibodies to that dead flu virus? They put mercury, they put heavy metals into the vaccine. So when they inject you with a vaccine, they're putting in heavy metal because that heavy metal is toxic to your body. Your body knows that, your immune system knows that, so it reacts. Now, there's other medication pills that you're taking also have heavy metals. I haven't done the research yet. You can Google it or ChatGPT it, right? So don't be misled to say that those are all safe. They're not safe. But here's the argument they're going to give you. Oh, it's such a small dose. It won't hurt people. Well, if you're taking 10 medications a day and each medication has heavy metal, you're getting heavy metal poisoning. Yes, one pill by itself won't do it, but if you're taking 20, 50 pills, we have patients in our clinic that are taking 30 medication pills every single day. I'm not talking about supplements yet. I'm only talking about medications. And if all those medications have heavy metals in them, guess how much heavy metal toxicity they're getting, right? So don't be misled. Nickel is also used in manufacturing saturated fats like margarine, soft butter spread. There's nickel in them. You eat that all day, you're getting nickel poisoning. You also want to check your toothpaste. Some toothpaste, if you don't get organic toothpaste, some toothpaste have titanium in there. Titanium, okay? And then aluminum. This has been most people have known aluminum is toxic to the brain cells in even just a small amounts. But we find aluminum everywhere in aluminum containers, cosmetics. They put aluminum, sometimes not mercury, they put aluminum in your medications. You need to read, in the medication bottles, they do have the description. They have this little leaflet explaining, but it's like when you unfold, it's like a little packet like this explaining all that's in the medication, right? But when then you unfold it, it's like a whole wall, and it's like all these tiny small print that you can't even read. You need a magnifying glass. Look through that and see if you have aluminum in your medication, right? Chances are it might. Even drinking purified water, the filter that you use, it may have aluminum in it. So we're getting all of this contamination without even knowing, without even trying, right? Now the symptoms, and physical signs of heavy metal toxicity in our body, they vary depending on the heavy metal. However, they all affect your immune system, your nervous system, which means they affect your brain. They make you dumber. Heavy metals all disrupt your nervous system. Your brain is your nervous system, right? And if you get heavy metal toxicity, severe heavy metal, it can possibly lead to brain inflammation, which is called encephalopathy, which is often irreversible, right? So heavy metal toxicity is therefore one of the biggest. Heavy metal toxicity is one of the biggest threats to your brain, to make you dumb, kill your brain. You want to kill your brain? Get more heavy metals, right? I'm not talking about the music either. Because why? Because these heavy metals, they're not restricted in their use in industrial purposes. And this was started back in the Industrial Revolution, when Carnegie and I forgot what's that other guy's name. I'll think of his name. But he was responsible for creating the Medical Association and allowing heavy metals to be used in daily, all of our daily foods, agriculture, made it safe. During that time, the Industrial Revolution, that was a time where they started introducing all these heavy metals and made it legal to have heavy metals in everything that we do. The food that we eat, the cosmetics that we use, the water we drink, heavy metal contamination, right? All right, so how does this have to do with multivitamins, right? Because the topic is multivitamins are killing your brain. Well, the more common and far less dangerous minerals that damage our brain that we don't pay attention to are these: iron, copper, and zinc. These are in multivitamins, okay? So the heavy metals are not in multivitamins. Hopefully they're not, right? But it's these common, less dangerous minerals: iron, copper, and zinc. These are the ones that easily we have toxicity, right? And they are in every multivitamin. That's the reason why I said, multivitamins are killing you. So iron is, if you are iron deficient, you will be diagnosed with anemia. It helps with the production of our hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is what carries oxygen in our red blood cells, right? So, as well as other proteins. Copper is key to enzyme function and the health of our immune system, blood vessels, nerves, and bones. Zinc, if you are, have done natural healing, zinc also helps with our immune system, right? A lot of times we take zinc to prevent the flu from viruses and so forth, right? Zinc also helps in brain metabolism, but these are in small quantities. It's the toxicity when we have over too much of these that cause a problem, right? So too little of iron and too much of iron can cause damage to our brain. Same with copper and zinc. So why? Because excessive amounts of these copper, iron, and zinc cause oxidative stress. So remember, oxidative stress is rusting in your brain. So it causes your brain to rust and age faster when you take too much of these. Here's new research suggests that copper we ingest just by eating the typical modern diet is enough to increase our chance of developing Alzheimer's. You don't even need to take a supplement. Just eating the modern diet right now, you are increasing your chance by developing Alzheimer's. That's why. How is that? I explained it earlier. We have these minerals, they're in the ground, the plants absorb them, the animals eat them, the beef eats them, the cow eats them, we eat the beef. We get more copper than we anticipated, right? So it's super important that you eat organic. Does it mean that you won't get all these metals and heavy metals and these minerals? No, it doesn't. It does not guarantee that. But it decreases your chance of getting too much, right? So it's important. And copper seems to reduce, when you have too much copper, it seems to reduce the brain's ability to clear away toxic amyloid proteins before they form plaques that are the hallmark of Alzheimer's. So let me repeat that in real layman terms. When you have too much copper, just from your regular diet, I'm not even talking about supplementation, just talking about just from your regular diet, you will get too much copper. If you eat the modern diet, and especially if you eat the standard American diet, the SAD diet, you are getting too much copper. So if you get too much copper, it reduces your brain's ability to stop the protein that causes plaque to build up in your brain, which is a hallmark of Alzheimer's. Plaque buildup in your brain is a hallmark indicator of Alzheimer's, right? Another research showed that people whose diet in high copper, saturated fat, and trans fat have particularly quickening rates of cognitive decline. Roughly 19 additional years worth of aging. So if you eat a high saturated fat diet, trans fat, you do all that butter spread, and it's nothing but butter, you know that commercial? You eat that stuff, you are aging 19 years faster than everybody else. So if you want anti-aging, you gotta get off of that stuff, okay? What else? It takes very little copper for your brains on a high fat diet to go haywire. So those of y'all who are doing the keto diet, high fat, right? High fat diets, sorry to give you this news. It only takes 2.7 milligrams per day of copper, all right, which is you will be getting if you're doing a high fat diet. It's equivalent to 3 ounces of ham. Just 3 ounces of ham will give you 2.7 milligrams of copper per day. You are accelerating your brain death and your aging by 19 years. So all those people doing keto diet, losing weight, it does help you lose weight. They're aging, they're substituting. Looking good right now, but dying 19 years earlier. They could have lived 19 years. They could have lost weight slower. The keto diet helps people lose weight fast. That is true. But it's like instant gratification or delayed gratification. Instant gratification, you do the diets that help you lose weight fast. HCG diet, Atkins diet, carnivore diet, keto diet, paleo diet. They help people lose weight fast. That is a fact. But what people don't know is they're aging faster. They're aging faster. They're getting older faster. Their brain's getting older faster. They're killing their brains, right? Before we get all, blame the food industry, we also have to understand that it's in our drinking water. Copper's in our drinking water because back then, because of the Industrial Revolution, they allowed all of these things. Water was piped in through copper pipes. Water was piped in through copper pipes. In some areas, there still are. And so food. I haven't even talked about multivitamins yet, right? I'm not even talking about multivitamins yet. Now you go to your practitioner, and your practitioner is doing all these blood tests, vitamin tests, micronutrient testing, and they're saying, oh yeah, you're vitamin deficient. You need to take this multivitamin. You need to take this other vitamin and supplement, blah, blah, blah. You're already getting these minerals from your food. You take that and here's the research already shows. Research already shows that just in a regular, typical American diet, you are getting all of these minerals. Copper, zinc, iron, you're already getting them. Now you take a multivitamin, you are increasing that toxicity every day that you take that multivitamin. So go through all your supplements, make sure there is no iron, copper, and zinc in any supplement, not just multivitamin, in any of your supplements. I'm going to have my team do this as well, right? And so making sure we get rid of those supplements and making sure no one's perfect. I'm not perfect. As I learn about these, as I discover these research, some of these research were done years ago, tens of years ago, but I didn't read it. Shame on me. So now that I have the information, now that you have the information, it's your responsibility to make sure that you do something for your own health and your family's health. So get off of those multivitamins, because you're just killing your brain, you're killing your body. Okay. Purifier, Evelyn, purifier water by reverse osmosis. Is this the best? In my opinion, I'm just going to say in my opinion, this is not everybody else's opinion. In my opinion, no. Reverse osmosis is also called dead water. Reverse osmosis, let me talk about the benefit of reverse osmosis. Reverse osmosis kills everything in the water. It kills everything. Everything. It takes everything out, all the minerals, right? But in water, naturally, there are minerals. Like if you look at water and how water is filtered in nature, it's filtered through stones, it's filtered through rocks. Those are all through minerals, right? So the best way to purify your water is to get one of those drip gravity filters, where it goes through the rocks, the minerals, the carbon, and it naturally keeps some of it. Still removes the heavy metals, right? But make sure there is no heavy metals in those filters as well. Make sure there's no aluminum in those filters. Actually, I need to go check my Berkey filter to see. The Berkey is the filter that I use because it can filter lake water. I need to go make sure that there's no aluminum in that as well. But those typically are better, right? As far as the information I know now. Reverse osmosis, I would say, is the safest water to drink because it literally removes everything. Like there's no life in it. So reverse osmosis is the safest. Is it the best? No. In my opinion, no. So hopefully that answers your question. Thank you for the question, Evelyn. All right. Sorry guys, we went overboard a little today. I appreciate everybody tuning in earlier than expected. Again, the new time for this podcast, same day. It's going to be 7 Sundays, and it's going to be at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right, guys. Hopefully, you got a lot of benefit from this. Some of the things that I'm sharing with y'all is some of the new things that I'm learning. Right, learning never stops. And who knows? 10 years later, when I do this podcast, maybe more research shows that what I'm saying right now, maybe it's all false. I don't know. All right. I'm trying to do the best that I can right now and being open-minded, not listening to people that said, oh, this research is wrong. This research is wrong. No. All research you need to, pay attention to, because no one is the source. If you're a believer, we know God is the only source. So, all right, guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Let me know in the comments if you like today's show and if you want more of this. All right, I'll see you next week, Sunday, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Peace.
This episode is sponsored by Achieve Integrative Health, the #1 acupuncture clinic in the US. We're grateful for their support in helping us bring you the Restorative Longevity Podcast.